Once again, it's Joshua here, and this is another episode of the Bible and an atheist point of view, where I, the atheist, am reading from the New International Version of the Bible, from chapter to chapter, one chapter per video, in the order that it was written, for the fear fact that it is absolutely hysterical. Yes, that's right, laughable. And downright fucking hilarious. Yes, hilarious. I said that already, didn't I? It's funny, okay? Trust me. I mean, the way it's written, the way that it contradicts itself, the way that the names, the places, and just the brutality in this thing is laughable because, you know, I mean, this is what you call your God, fuckheads! For those who believe in one, of course. Mine happens to be covered with, you know, tomato sauce, cheese, and meatballs. Anyways, before I go on, I decided to take another scenic outlook. But it looks like shit today in Salt Lake City. What do you expect in Salt Lake City? Anyway, before I go on, let's start the bumper music, shall we? Alright. Now, where I left off, it's chapter 33, Numbers 33. And, we'll just read, won't we? Verse 1, these are the stages of the people of Israel when they went out of the land of Egypt by their companies under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. Alright, verse 2, Moses wrote down their starting places, stage by stage. What, do you have a pen or something? By command of the Lord, and these are the stages according to their starting places. Because Moses wrote it down. Verse 3, they set out for Ramses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month. On the day that the Passover, the people of Israel went out triumphantly, in the sight of all the Egyptians. It's cold there. Verse 4, while the Egyptians were burying all their firstborn, whom the Lord had struck down among them. No offense, God, we're a little busy killing our firstborn that you killed! What do you want? On their gods, also the Lord executed judgment. Of course he did, because that's what God does. He kills people! Verse 5, so the people of Israel set out from Ramses and camped at Succoth. Succoth? Man, it's cold. Verse 6, and they set out from Succoth and camped at Athlam, which is on the edge of the wilderness. And they set out from Atham and turned back to Pi-hahiroth, which is east of Baal-Zephon, and the camp before Migdal. Migdal? Okay. Verse 8, then they set out from before Hahiroth, and passed through the midst of the sea into the wilderness. And they went at 3 days' journey in the wilderness of Ephraim and camped at Marah. Verse 9, and they set out from the Marah and came to Elim, and Elim. At Elim there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees, and they camped there. Excuse me. Ugh. Verse 10, and they set out from Elim, and camped by the Red Sea. Verse 11, and they set out from the Red Sea and camped in the wilderness of Sin. Oh, there you go. You're going to camp in sin, you're going to commit sin. Verse 12, and they set out from the wilderness of Sin and camped at Dopka. Verse 18, and they set out from Dopka and camped at Lush. He's such a lush. You're a lush. Where you got drunk. You can get drunk a lot of lush. The booze are free. Verse 14, and they set out from Lush and camped at Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. Well, it sucks to be them. Should have brought fucking dice on here or some shit. Verse 15, and they set out from Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai. Verse 16, And they set out from the wilderness of Sinai and camped out of Kirboth God. Hatava. Kilbroth Hatava. Verse 13. And they set out from Kilbroth Hatava and camped at Hazeroth. Wow, they camp a lot, don't they? Verse 18. And they set out from Hazeroth and camped out at Rithmah. Verse 19. And they camped out from Rithmah and camped at Rimmon Perez. Hyphenated. Verse 20, and they set out from Rimmon Perez and camped at Libnah. Verse 21, and they set out from Libnah and camped at Rizsah. Why is all this relevant? Where the fuck they camped? Really? I don't think it is! Verse 22, and they set out from Riznon and they camped at Kalalala. Verse 23, and they camped at Kalalala and camped at Mount Shephar. Verse 24, and they set out from Mount Shephar and camped at Heradah. Verse 25, and they set out from Heradah and they camped at Machallah. Verse 26, and they set out from Machallah and camped at Taha. Verse 27, and they set out from Taha and camped at Terah. And verse 28, they set out from Terah and camped at Mithkah. Verse 29, they set out. Fuck! Enough camping already, fuckers! Can't you just get there? Are we there yet? Verse 29, and they set out from Mithkah and camped at Hashmonha. Verse 30, and they set out from Hashmonha and camped out at Moseroth. Moseroth! These all sound like characters in a video game. I don't play video games, but if someone was naming video games, I'd hit the Bible up because there's some fucked up names in here that they could use. Verse 31, and they set out from Moseroth and camped at Bene Jaakan. Verse 32, and they set out from Bene Jaakan and camped at Hor Haggidgadaga. Hor Haggidgadaga. Verse 33, and they set out from Hor Haggidgadaga and camped at Jotbath. Jotbath. Ha! Ha! Verse 34, and they set out from Jotbath. Ha! And camped at Abrona. Verse 35, they set out from Abrona and camped out at Ezion Gerber. Verse 36, they set out from Ezion Gerber and camped in the wilderness of Zin, that is, Kadesh. Whatever. Verse 37, and they set out from Kadesh. Come on, page. And camped at Mount Hor, the land of Edom, fucking whore. Verse 38, and Aaron and the priest went up Mount Hor, and the command on the Lord had died there. In the 14th year, the people of Israel had come on the land of Egypt on the first day of the 5th month. So not everybody else has died, the commands are dying too. It's a kill-all fest for Yahweh. Verse 39, and Aaron was 123 years old. Wow, he's so young. When he died on Mount Hor, he died so young, because, people lived to be like a fucking billion back then. Verse 40, and the Kenite, king of Harad, who lived in Negeb, in the land of Canaan, heard of the coming of the Israel people. Did you get that? See, he's got his name and address included. Verse 41, and they set out from Mount Hor and camped at Zalmanah. Verse 42, and they set out from Zalmanah and camped at Putnan. Verse 43, and they set out from Putnan and camped at Oboth. Verse 44, and they set out from Oboth and camped at Aram in this area of Moab. Hey, there's a name I know. Moab, yeah. It's a better place to camp, Moab. Weather's pretty much nice out here. Verse 45, and they set out from Aim and camped at Dibon Gad. Verse 47, and they set out from Gibeon Gad and camped at Alamon. Oh, fuck. Dilathanim. Verse 47, and they set out from Alaman, and camped in the mountains of Arabim before Nebo. Nebo. Verse 48, and they set out from the mountains of Ararim and camped in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho. They fished in the Jordan and pooped in it too. Verse 49, they camped in the Jordan from Beth Jeshimoth as far as Abel Shittim. That's his name. Abel shit himself in the lands of Moab. Oh, the plains of Moab, of course. There are plains. Yeah, that's right. Well, there's some arches there too, and there's a few cliffs, and I think there's some bike trails, but never mind, we'll get that later. Verse 50, and the Lord spoke to Moses in the plains, verse 50, of Moab, by the Jordan, at Jericho, saying, verse 51, speak to the people of Israel, and say to them, when you pass over the Jordan, and into the land of Canaan, then you shall drive out all of the inhabitants of the land before you, and destroy all their figure stones, Ishwari, all their metal images, and demolish all their high places. They're fucking pirates! The piracy never ends! Let's destroy another land and kill all their fucking men and women that have fucked before, and take all their virgins and all that shit. It's coming, yeah, fucking pirates, shit. Verse 53, and you shall take possession of the land and settle in it, for I have given the land to you to possess it. Of course you have, you piece of shit. Verse 54, you shall inherit the land by God according to your clans. The land by lot. A lot. Oh, they're building that parking lot again. To a large tribe you shall give a large inheritance. To a small tribe you shall give a small inheritance. And the dog gets jack shit as usual. Where the lot falls for anyone, that is, be his. According to the tribes of your fathers, you shall inherit. Verse 55, but if you do not drive out the inhabitants of the land before you, if you don't murder them, kill them, take their virgins, all that good shit, then those men whom you let remain shall be as barbs in the eyes and thorns in your sides. You hear that? If you do not, God is telling Moses, he does not kill the men in this and women and everyone else in this land and leaves a few remaining, then they're nothing more than thorns in their sides. So yeah, kill them all, right, God? Then they shall be trouble you in the land where you dwell. Verse 56, and the last fucked up verse in this chapter, I will do to you as I thought you do to them. That's a fucked up verse. Jesus. Yeah, that won't have as much thump. Well, kids, once again, this is Joshua, and this has been the Bible in an atheist point of view.